Hello out there, Patriot world. How are we all? Are we all well? Are we all ready? Are we all prepared? Hi Stacey, first one in the live. How are you, darling? Hi Mickey. Hi Maria, hi Jason, hi Mel. Hi Julie. Okay. Hi Elaine, hi Chris, hi Jenny, hi Ben, hi Catherine, hi Mary, hi Janet. Hello, hello, Patriots around the world. And this bloody fringe again, right? All right, so I won't be on for long. I've got a girlfriend on her way over. Her power's down, so now that's not for any reason other than they're doing work in her area. So when she arrives, we'll have to get off the live. So we're going to go pretty fast. Now remember, you can rewatch it later. You can pause it later, okay? Don't pause it now, pause it later, or it'll kick me off. All right, everyone. So by now, I'm pretty confident everyone's heard the statement by Donald Trump. If you haven't, it's on my page. Go and listen to it. Effectively, what he's saying is he's taken on Big Pharma, which is the Nazis. The Nazis is the origins of pharmaceutical industry. They've been ripping everybody off blind, in addition to, pumping everyone full of toxic drugs. But we'll put that shit aside for 1 minute. We'll focus on the monetary aspect of it today. So there's people out there all over the world that might be spending $300 or more a month on their meds. Their meds now are going to cost them $30. That's how you send these bastards bankrupt. That's how you take control. That's why the heat is on. That's why this has gone from a silent war to a hot war. So, in case you haven't been following the news, we've all seen the booms go off. We've all seen the cue drop that's appropriate to the event. Future proves past, okay? So, and at the bottom it said blackout necessary. Now, in my belief, blackout necessary means the 6 major news corporations that run the shit show called television news have lost control. They've lost control of their corporations because they're the merchants. They're your enemy. They have committed massive crimes against humanity. They no longer control jack shit. Okay, so those news feeds are going to be coming to you from Air Force One, which is fully insulated and fully protected. So do not post fear porn shit. If you're in fear, go and pray. If you're in fear, go and research. It just means you don't know what the fuck's going on. All right, so I can assure you I do. I do this full time and I do it seriously. We are not fucking around and I do not talk shit. So in moving forward, you will see on Twitter, the tweet will say, my fellow Americans, the storm is upon us. All right. Now, because he ran for the American presidency, he has to say, my fellow Americans. But what he's really saying is, my fellow human beings all over the earth. Okay? So, we are about to go, it would appear, rock and roll. All right? So, what that means is you need to know who your enemy is. Now, what's been playing out in the Middle East? What we've got here is basically Turkey and Iran wanting to rule the world. Everyone wants to rule the world. You've heard the song, right? They've been telling us this shit all along. So what they want to do is reinstall the Ottoman Empire. That will not be happening. At this point in time, Egypt has troops on the ground protecting Israel borders. Russia's protecting Israel borders. Saudi Arabia's in on the action. So countries that used to be enemies in the Middle East are now friends. They all have a common goal to stop the new Ottoman Empire. Okay, this we are moving forward towards peace in the Middle East. This is not a game. These cunts are serious. Now, they've just been caught trying to import parts for like automatic rifles into America. Okay, so there are guns buried everywhere, all over the world. The good guys have them buried, so do the bad guys. All right, so you need to know who your enemy is. Now, just because your neighbour or friend speaks a different language to you, it does not, or the different skin colour to you, does not mean that they are your enemy. It is what's in their hearts and in their minds. And they are tricky as all fuck, okay? So Victor and I just outed another one. This is the first time I'm outing it publicly, but we triggered him. His name is James Davis. He has a Facebook page, and he giddied up on my back 12 months ago, all right? He just outed himself 2 days ago. Okay, now you can take what I say as truth, or you can just fucking keep reading his shit all you like. It's entirely your choice. You're an adult. I'm just telling you, I know what the fuck is going on. And don't have your arguments here on the news feed. You're just fucking clogging up the bloody comments. So, moving forward, that's who and what your enemy is. They have demonics in their brain. They are fucking psychopaths. I am not joking. I'm giving it to you straight between the eyes because time is short. Okay. Now, what you need to do is be prepared if you're not already. There is no need to panic. All you need to do is be prepared. Okay? So, if you're in a country where you're allowed to have guns, obviously you make sure they're loaded up and you've got spare magazines or fucking whatever you need to do in regards to that. If you're in a country that doesn't, baseball bats are very proficient. Okay, so in addition to that, food, water, animal, pet food, you know, if you need Panadol, whatever the fuck, go and get it today. All right, but do not panic. And anyone you see while you're outside, provide reassurance. Look them in the eye and smile and tell them everything's going to be okay. Might get a little shaky and a little shitty, but please believe me when I tell you everything is going to be okay. Eyes on the kids, heads on a swivel. That information has not changed. The trafficking hubs have been shut down. The demonics are starving. They are pedivores as well as pedophiles. Okay, you don't know what pedivores means? Look it up. It ain't fucking hard. Now, in moving along, it is love thy neighbour. Keep your eye out on your neighbour, okay? Shop in small stores as much as you can. Fuck those merchants, okay? Stop putting money in their pockets. Shop mums and dads, small shop fronts as much as you can. Now, where do we go from here? Let's now go to Australia. Australia, people, of course, are tracking the flights coming in and out. We had, 27 flights and, 12 of them or some shit were from China. Now, what you must understand is, in Donald Trump's chat about the pharmaceutical companies, the point that most people missed was that he said we are rebating the nations. So here, our medications, most of them, right, they're rebated, all right? So that means our country, as a country, and every other country, right, has basically been ripped off to the max. We've been harvested on every level, but today we're talking the money, okay? So that money is coming back to us, and my guess is it's in the form of gold, and that's what will probably be on those flights. They will be repatriating the wealth back to the nations. Okay, so when you see things, you must remember, What's up is down. What's left is right. Think mirror. Okay. Now, there's also been reports that straight away, curfew time, everyone's off the roads. Well, guess what's happening? All the money we've been paying to our councils to fix the ditches and holes in our roads and our infrastructure and take down dead limbs hanging over trees, well, all that work's being done while you're locked down in home. Okay? It's all, the money is all now being invested into the nations. Okay? Now, these flights also, you must understand, will be bringing in what is ever needed, okay, for Australia. We are like America's first cousins. Strategically, we are not been and have not been hung out to dry, as much as it might feel that way, okay? Now, Victoria is the worst, and it's probably because we're named after Queen Victoria. Okay, so the sorcery here and the fuckery here is deeper than other states. But that's not to say, and because it is, that this fuckery is going on in every state, but Victoria seems to be the worst. Now, if your state in Australia is not in lockdown now, it soon will be, probably. Okay. So just go and do whatever you need to do with no fear and no panic, at a nice, gentle, calm pace. Go and get what you need, regardless of which state you live in, okay? So, other things you may need to know. Donald Trump said, I have some very rich, powerful enemies because I have rebated back to the nations. No other president would have done that. I will be removing myself from the stage, is what he most will have said, because he said, you will not see me for a while, okay? So, which means they won't be holding rallies and all the bullshit, right? He won't be doing COVID fucking bullshit briefings, right? Because that thing's about to stop any day now, all right? So if you think you're going to be in lockdown in Victoria for 6 weeks, that's bullshit, all right? Our media, our Premier, our Prime Minister couldn't be more ridiculous if they tried. They're trying to be so fucking ridiculous to wake people up. The other thing they're trying to do is light a fire in people's bellies to wake up and say, no, enough is enough. You are not going to send my business fucking broke, okay? That's obviously happening. But it does not mean, and Q does not want anyone to get violent. All he wants is for you to wake up and fight for your sovereign rights, which you've never had. No person on the planet ever has had or enjoyed their sovereign rights, which basically means the pursuit of happiness, okay? Abundance for all, okay? That's just the fucking bottom line, all right? Peace is the prize. No more wars, right? No more death cult harvesting wars. That shit is over. Having said that, we're in the last hot war now. Everything here is pre-prophesized, okay? I am no fucking prophet, right? I can assure you. I just follow the comms. So, if you are a believer, pray. Pray for guidance, pray for wisdom, and pray for all the humans on the planet. President Trump will be fully insulated on Air Force One. Every single TV station around the world will go into blackout. You will only get one channel, and it'll be live streamed from Air Force One. That will be your news station for either 3 days solid or 10 days solid, okay? You will not be hearing your normal bullshit opinion pieces that they pass off to you as news. That shit will stop. Ezekiel is playing out. So get into scripture. There's a chap who has a site called Beyond Israel. Watch his latest video. It will help you to understand what is going on, okay? There is nothing to fear as long as you understand what's happening, all right? So don't spend your time fucking arguing with people. Research. Follow people who know the fuck what's going on. If you read something and it puts you into fear, there's a good chance you're following the wrong people, okay? I hate to ask, but when? Stephanie, nobody knows exactly when, okay? Not even Jesus knows, okay? But in terms of what's about to happen on, you know, let's call it geopolitics, I have known for a long time it would always happen on a Friday, DC time. JFK's dog was called Friday. Astrotheology tells us, okay, in as well. So, all you need to understand is this. You can't change anything if you wanted to. We are now past go. This is not about politics. This is a war for who wants to rule the world. So the Ottoman Empire of old, you know, that one, yeah, well, you know, they want to grab for the prize. So, the Christian Empire, those who know who the real king is the people that we are supporting. That is represented by a group of military and the presidency of the United States. And since that happened, now we have in excess of 22 countries on board. If you want to know the status of that, go to Mike Pompeo on Twitter. If you don't have a Twitter account, you can just Google it. You don't have to be signed up. And you read through his tweets and you see what nations. He's basically saying Singapore's on board, this nation's on board, that nation's on board, when you know how the fuck to read his shit. Okay, so America is not alone. Australia is not alone. Canada is not alone. New Zealand is not alone. All the nations of the Commonwealth, you have a placeholder king and his name is Donald Trump. Anyone outside of the Commonwealth nations, okay, Russia's your ruler, or Xi of China is your ruler, okay, the CCP are on their fucking knees, but they will not go down without a fight, okay, and no one is going to restore your sovereignty to you and just go, here you go, darling, have a great life. You are going to have to fight. This is a fight for the minds of men, therefore, ultimately, your soul. And, of course, in between that, your freedom. Okay? I cannot be any more blunt. I cannot be any more informative if I tried. It's all on my Facebook page. It's all there. So until you get a grasp on what's going on, keep your head in there until you understand it. If I've posted a video, I've posted it for a fucking reason. And that is for you to watch it so you can educate yourself about what's happening. All right? So, now, we've got the Thule Air Base in Greenland. We are so fucking rock and roll, guys and girls. All right? The Thule Air Force Base, this is from the United States Space Force, where the Air Force today just handed over command to the Space Force. Does anybody here understand what that means? We're about as giddy up as you're gonna get. So, United States Air Force tweets at 11:11, I think it was from memory. No, not on this one. So the handing over from the Air Force to the Space Force was tweeted at 11:11 time. This tweet from the United States Space Force came later, I believe. The Thule, however you want to pronounce it, THULE, Air Base Greenland. The Royal Danish Air Force and Joint Arctic Command and the Joint Rescue Coordination Centre teamed up to rescue 6 stranded sailors from Greenland. That's huge. Dutch Patriot tweeted, video of the rescued children in Germany. The plane was on the way to Spain. I don't have time to explain Spain. Let's just say they're cunts. And they found them by accident, the message says. You have been told on the bottom of the screen, blackout coming, brace yourself. Now, the only reason you have to brace yourself is because the entire world is about to be hit with a lightning strike of fucking truth, okay? And your phone is about to be flooded by family and friends saying, oh my God, I can't believe everything you've been telling me for however long is true, all right? Now, all you need to do is reassure them, put a foundation under them, especially anyone pregnant, okay? Please print out now what to do if someone goes into shock if you don't already know. Print it out because the internet may go down intermittently, okay? So you know what to do. Breaking. A fire has broken out on the top of the World Trade Center in Brussels. As I said earlier, Brussels is ground zero. That's where the home of the UN. Silver in Australia is skyrocketing. I brought in at $7.50 Australian dollars. Today, if you wanted to buy 1 kilo, it's going to cost you $14.22. We're going to the heavens. Who's pressing all those angries on the comments? Keep hitting it with love. You know what to do, guys. So we got some trolls on there. Ignore the trolls. So, General Flynn, prayers matter, but action is required, all right? Now, the only action that you may require to do is to prepare yourself, head on a swivel, okay? Know who your enemy is, right? Now, there are men out there who can do more than that, of course, all right? But no one's asking you to do anything that is not within i.e. your skill set, all right, or your heart, okay? If you are a female and you are not able to, let's say, soldier on, okay, your role is to keep vibration high. Your role is to spread love and light. Your role is not to argue with anybody, but to gently guide them, okay? Your role, of course, is to feed the family, make sure the men have what they need. We are going back to traditional roles. All you fucking freaky feminist fuckers can fuck off. All right, we need our men, we want our men, no more soy boys with man buns and skinny fucking jeans, all right? We need to harden the fuck up. World War II is about to come to its final closure because they lied to you. The Allies did not win the war, they lied to you. Okay? The fascist Nazis, fucking whatever you want to call them, went underground and infiltrated. Okay? The leaders of the nations at the time were traitorous to these fascist pricks. Okay? General Flynn, good is always more powerful and will prevail over evil. If all you can manage to do is, if all you can manage to achieve is to believe that, you are helping more than you will ever know, because that is your energy, frequency, and vibration, okay? Everyone, stay as sober as possible. And I'm not saying that to be a fucking killjoy. We are soldiers in a war, and soldiers in a war don't get shit-faced. The Bank of England and the Bank of Ireland and many other banks are temporarily closed. We are sending these pricks broke. The banks have no fucking money. You've got to kill the fiat fake currency system before you can bring in the gold standard. So make sure you have cash. Make sure you have diversified your investments to bullion. I have been telling you this for 3 fucking years. If you were not paying attention, I cannot help you now. Your tap and go will one day very, very shortly not work. So fill your cars up with gas, do whatever you need to do, make sure you've got cash on you, and do not rely on tap and go. And in the meantime, if your credit card still works, go to fucking town on it. Responsibly, of course. Lebanon is in default on debt for first time amid the financial crisis. So prior to what went down with that blast, bomb, whatever you want to call it, that went off in Lebanon, right? Well, Lebanon was only getting 2 hours of electricity a day because of sanctions, because Lebanon needed to be pulled into line. They were, are we with these fucking Hezbollah pricks or not? Okay? So they've been what you might call neutralised because their reserve bank, the Rothschild-run fiat debt currency system that's been harvesting us, their bank in Lebanon got blown, okay? Blown. Goodbye. See you later. Thanks for playing. Now another big one. The US envoy for Iran policy, Brian Hook, steps down. You bet he fucking does. All right. Now, General David L. Goldfein, sounds a bit fucking Jewish to me, relinquishes command of the United States Air Force to General Charles Q. Brown Jr. That happened today. I think I told you about that earlier. Now, there's been a shit ton of flights over China. As far as I'm aware, China's not in lockdown, so there's no reason for there not to be a shit ton of flights around China. But I suppose everyone is aware of the 5 Gorges or 3 Gorges Dam or whatever there in China, which is an absolute abomination about to happen. And the millions of lives that'll be lost when that dam breaks is incalculable. So there is a chance that those planes are getting people out of there and taking them to other parts of China, all right? Now, if that sounds far-fetched to you, I want you to believe it anyway, because it gives off a belief in humanity. It gives off a belief in energy, frequency, vibration, that there are many more good people on this earth than there are bad. All right? There's many reasons why. So let's just find a very positive reason and hold on to that reason. You don't have to share it with anyone else if you don't wish. That's fine. Just hold that thought in your heart, right? Because God, your creator, is working through man, all right? So I can assure you, all those people who know, they know, right, that dam's going to burst, and what are they going to do about it? They can't do anything about it, right? Well, okay, so maybe something is being done about it for them, all right? Or maybe they're the 1 or the 2/3 of the population that don't survive this shit. I do not know, but keep your energy high. I once had a friend who grew up in China ask me why so many Americans watch the news. Confused, I asked, "What do you mean?" She reported, "Well, in China, no one watches the news because we all know it's propaganda. I guess Americans haven't figured that out yet." Among the moments that completely changed my paradigm on life, this was one of them. That applies to Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and every other fucking nation you can imagine. Yes, it's just as easy to buy a scientist as it is to buy a politician. Hello. Now, the other big one, of course, is it looks like Julian Assange is about to enter stage left. Now, that could be the beginning of what gets broadcast from Air Force One, his testimony. I don't know, but it is a possibility. Julian Assange is being asked to answer questions about his involvement, and his knowledge of Seth Rich's involvement in the DNC email leaks. Assange can settle the debate once and for all. Hopefully he has the source file. Are you fucking kidding me? Assange is all over it, all right? Now, that's just one other person we have to thank for saving humanity, all right? Oh my God, are we going to drink some shit at the party? All right, now 72 seconds. What is about to unfold should shock you like a bolt of lightning. We are entering the point of no return. I suggest you brace. The stars have aligned. Send the code. That will be Space Force luminaries. Lifting of the veil, okay? Now, the reason Scripture's told you to look up it is to observe the luminaries, okay? It's not to go sun gazing or fucking moon admiring. The moon ain't your fucking friend, I give you the tip. Now, scripturally, prior to them having compasses, how do you think they navigated? They watched the luminaries in the skies. The luminaries in the skies, in case you missed it, have gone apeshit. The same way they did last time, right? Which is where they got all their symbolism, because the shapes that all these planets made when they all aligned up behind each other, etc., created like the crescent moon and the bull shape and all the rest of it, okay? So, that's all about to happen again. That's why Scripture tells you to look up. That's one of the reasons why they've been spraying, so you cannot see, so it's not as blatantly obvious. Well, hang on a minute, the moon's not where it was last week at 10 o'clock at night or whatever, right? That's what it's all about, to keep you in a state of confusion, to keep you ignorant. Hello, what makes you think they wouldn't have been doing that with the luminaries? They've been doing it with everything else, okay? So, I want you all to breathe deeply. I want you all to go into your heart chakra. I want you all and need you all to go into service to others, all right, if you're not already. There is nothing to fear, nothing. You are told that in excess of 360 times in Scripture. It's not written there for you not to pay attention and obey, i.e. do not put out fear, vibration, energy, frequency, and vibration, okay? So, remain cool, remain frosty, all right? Don't drink the fucking Kool-Aid. Turn your TV off. Or maybe have it on, but mute it. Now, this 14 days of darkness, this 10 days of darkness, I told you ages ago, that is all a fear porn psyop from people who are either deceived or are a deceiver. Blackout darkness means that those 6 corporations that have been affecting the minds of men are about to be blacked out. That's what it means. That's all it means, okay? So you see anybody posting anything like that, please educate them. If they keep posting shit like that, I can assure you, you don't want that shit coming up on your news feed, so fucking get rid of them out of your life and out of your mind. This is a war for the minds of men. And I am not shitting you. All right, so that's probably all we need to cover. I just need you all to understand. You need to follow Pompeo and Donald J. Trump, regardless of what you believe. It really doesn't fucking matter. If you want to know what's going on in the world by those who have the control panel for control of the world, I suggest you start following and reading their tweets. For anyone who's lost faith in humanity, well, fucking stop it. The only reason you've lost faith in humanity and you believe there's way more bad guys than good is because your fucking TV has been telling you that since the day you were goddamn born. Before you even understood the English language, it was going into your subconscious. Okay? So, as I said, no panic. There is nothing to fear, okay? Nothing. No one is going to starve, okay? No one. Because what are we all doing? We're all loving our neighbour, right? So why would anybody starve, right? Got it? Do you understand? Good. Now, in addition to all that, we've got a royal family situation that's about to blow all at the same time as well, okay? So, here we go. Latest headline from yesterday, I think it was, but who would know, so much shit's happened. Bridesmaid for Princess Diana was guest on Epstein Island. Clemmy Hambro, who took 2 trips on pedophile's private jet, says, I was young, naive, and lucky to escape. Okay, so what you need to understand is that everything that you've seen in regards to Epstein Island and St. James Island, etc., okay, that's, you just fucking, as bad as all that shit is, that's just fucking Gilligan's Island, all right? That's just the fucking entree. All right, the side salad of fuckery, all right? The mother lode is St. James Palace in the UK, Britannia, all right? Which is effectively still the 4th Empire, Rome, in case you missed the symbolism everywhere. Okay, so that's all about to blow. All right. So Epstein was always just a little fucking useless idiot who was as horny as fuck for all the wrong age group. All right. He's a Mossad agent. He's just a fucking useless puppet. He ain't no one important. He's a link. And he links straight into the Palace of St. James. The photograph of him, of Ghislaine Maxwell and Kevin Spacey sitting on the 2 thrones was not at Buckingham Palace. Buckingham Palace is not the bee's knees of the home of the throne of their fucking power, right? It is St. James Palace. If you live anywhere near there, stay the fuck away. Things are gonna get interesting. So, we also have Prince Joachim of Denmark, 51, leaves hospital in Paris to recover in peace at his family's French summer home. France, really? After emergency brain surgery. Really? To remove a blood clot Really? Oh, you mean blood as in like plasma? How fucking interesting, right? Okay. You learning how to read fucking headlines yet or not? Have I taught you that yet or not? I haven't even been on to the headlines today. I've been on Twitter for, I don't know, half an hour. Then I've been on the phone ringing my mates, giving them a heads up. Most of these people have children. I do not. They do. Okay? Most of these people have families. Some of them large families. I do not. They need to be in service to humanity. They need to know what's going on, so they can be the soldiers that they've been trained to be, to protect and help guide the minds and hearts of men. So I have not even looked at the headlines yet today, all right? Now, as I said, I'm going to have a guest because of an electricity problem at her house, so I do not know how much I'm going to be able to do, okay? Because we have two little children. But I need you all to understand, eyes on the children. Not only yours, but everyone else's, okay? If you're in a supermarket or wherever you are, and you know how kids can just go wandering off down an aisle, well, fucking eyes on, all right? Eyes on. And we all know and understand. We have just been trying to help people to see what's been hiding in plain sight. You must understand we now have the benefit of the eyes to see and the ears to hear. They do not yet. Now the reason is because of sorcery, okay? It was global sorcery. So the way this shit works is they must tell us what they're doing to us, or else it would not work. That's how sorcery happens. So as you've gone through your awakening and you've watched an episode of whatever or a movie of whatever, and you've gone, fuck, they've been trying to tell us this whole time, right? Well, of course they've been telling you. They haven't been trying to tell you. They've been telling you so their sorcery works, okay? And sorcery, like most things, is a numbers game, okay? And that's the game we're in, waking people up. So the more people who are awake, the less power their sorcery has. The less ability they have to harvest us, okay? Now, anyone who's lost faith in humanity, it's because you've been harvested. Anybody who doesn't have love in their heart, it's because you've been harvested, okay? I also need you to understand that 1 in 3 people have been affected by kiddie fiddling, all right? It is generational, okay? So you're going to get some triggered people around you more than you probably realise, okay? Now, that may not happen immediately, but it will happen. So you need to be able to explain to them how sorcery works. You need to explain to them that their perpetrator was not in control of their own mind. It's not an excuse. Law and order will prevail, but it is the intellectual understanding that they were not in control of their own mind, which can lead them to forgiveness quicker, okay? So if you don't understand sorcery yet, get on it, all right? Because that's the biggest thing we're going to have to deal with. Because the amount of triggered people, if you think someone's going to be triggered because, I don't know, fucking Hillary's not president or some shit. Or, you know, the WHO's been lying about HCQ. That's surface side salad shit, all right? 1 in 3 people have been kitty fiddled, all right? Generally in their own home, all right? So there's a lot of new therapies that happen in an instant, okay? And we have faith in the 11th of the 11th, 2020 as well, okay? So these people don't necessarily have to take the hard, ugly, horrific journey we have. For that, praise the Lord, right? Okay. Remember, we are digital soldiers, but we're about to become personal soldiers, all right? I just want you to know I'm here for anyone 24/7, but you must understand I am a human being, all right? I can only take so much, all right? I do have the ability to disassociate, but I can only do that for so long, and then I'm going to hit a wall, okay? I've given you everything I got, and then some, all right? What do I think about, Fiona? Well, do you want to know what I've been thinking about lately? St. James Palace. Dentists. I've been thinking about rivers, channels, ponds, anything that holds a current. Water holds a memory, okay? I've been thinking about a lot of things. I've been thinking about when Thomas Cromwell brought up all the land in St. James Palace for Henry VIII on a very large parcel of land was a leper hospital. Now, of course, leprosy is probably something these cunts gave the people, right? I'm pretty sure it's not something God came up with. He did all these land deals. Anyway, 3 families were allowed, they were licensed to build homes within the palace walls. Oh yeah, and it's got a big fuck off high wall around it too, just quietly. So you keep building that wall, Trump. So, one private residence went to Sir Thomas Howard. He was master of the house. Sorry, master of the horse. We have Lord George Goring. Sounds a bit SS to me, but I haven't looked into him yet. He was a courtier and a soldier. He was also master of the horse, vice chamberlain. We have a Robert Sidney, the 3rd Earl of Leicester, which I'm assuming the Sydney here in Melbourne, in New South Wales, we call it Australia, is named after. So we got Leicester Square, etc., right? So Robert Sidney. And then the Civil War broke out in 1642 and the City of London became fortified. They built star forts within inside those walls. The 3 private residences became barracks. London was under military occupation. St. James Field used to be St. James Fair, where basically it was a 4-day booze party, which sounds a lot like the celebrations of Saturnalia in Rome. Remember I told you the Empire of Rome just went underground, all right, and pop back up as what we know as Britain. So, now, Henrietta, her best buddy in this, fuckery department, people, was the Earl of St Albans. He raised in today's money £25 million. He was given a huge chunk of land in Virginia, America, because you were never free. And he was also given the bailiwick of St James, which all of this here then led to the West End. Broadway, West End, whatever they fucking call it. The stage, right? The lights, the stars, right? The first Hollywood, if you will. The first illuminated stars with spotlights on the stage. The world's a stage. There's nothing new under the sun. Then we have the Earl of Arlington. Well, guess what? Your Arlington Cemetery will be named after him. A very interesting man. I posted on him. Now, so we have these three families and they were all master of the horse. Interesting. Especially given one of my Facebook friends and an anon, a kick-ass, hard-working, deep-researching anon. Her family is one of the families that have been harvested by the demons. They told you, angels and demons, right? Angels and demons. You read the book, seen the movie? Get on it. Now, she tells me that her brother, who was in the American military, used to, of course, say some pretty crazy shit to her that she didn't really believe. But she knew that he had to get it out, so she listened. But she didn't really question him, right? Now, he told her that because she would have thought, like most people would have thought, oh, he's a fucking conspiracy theorist or he's lost the plot or fucking whatever, right? So he told her that he went into a chamber and was on the moon like that. All right, we've all heard about the jump room, we call it. All right. Now, the visitations he gets and the demonic he's seen, as in the head honcho demonic, is a hybrid. It has the body of a man and the head of a horse. So if you want to know the kind of shit that's going around in my brain, that's the kind of shit I'm trying to decode and work out. Also, we've got the four horses, the four horses in scripture. And horses can also mean esoterically, if that's the correct term, time travel. Okay? Now, I don't believe for 1 minute these people were on the fucking moon. I don't believe that at all. I think they were just in this big fuck-off ship and they were MK Ultra to believe they were. All right? But I could be way wrong, right? But I fucking doubt it. Water. The age of Aquarius we're in now. Water means enlightenment. You glad you asked what kind of shit I think about? Have I spun your head yet? Okay, so oh, and of course he also mentioned the men in black. They weren't black men, they were just dressed in black clothes. Shadow people, he called them. One-dimensional, like cardboard cutouts. Okay. The moon is nothing but a big spaceship, Sputnik. think I might need a secretary. A hot man would be perfectly acceptable just quietly. Okay, so we're going to go back to the age of Pisces. That's the age of the Fisher Kings and Queens. So now we're talking astrotheology. You know, those luminaries up there. The Fisher Kings and Queens, and of course the popes. You know, with their fish hats. Then became the time of Aries. That's the age of the bull. That's the Jewish Hebrew scenario. That's your Wall Street. That's your Jew bankers. Not your Hebrews. Not your average everyday citizen. Okay, so don't go getting offended. Then we go into the age of Taurus, which is the holy bull or cow worship. And just one thought that came to mind was this mad cow disease, right? But that's the times of the Minoan, the Hindu and Egyptian pharaohs, etc. was Taurus. So we're in the age of Aquarius. So then when all that was going on was the age of Taurus. Then came the age of Gemini with the twins. That's Suma, Enki and Anil. Sumerian, you know. The holders of the secret knowledge from the underground stream. Very interesting. Lakes, rivers, gorges, star forts. Watch the water, Q. We're now entering the age of Aquarius, which is the age of enlightenment. It started in 2012. Now, that age of enlightenment is for these days for the general public, the general population, not just for the elite. Okay, who knew how everything worked, who knew how the universe, or whatever you want to call it, worked, who knew about all the movements of the stars, okay? Now, the symbol for that is a man or a woman pouring water out of an ancient vessel, like you might have found in Egypt to move oil around or wine around, right? That's the symbol. Myths and stories were told when their consciousness expanded around death. Fear-based mind control. Now, if you knew who you were and what you were and how you really function, you would have absolutely no fear of death at all, because you would know it's a fucking myth. Made up by the enemy, who wanted to keep you corralled, controlled, managed and harvested. If there's any part of that you don't understand, oh, well then again, I probably can't help you. Now, what also happened is one of these kings, I think it was Charles I or the second, whatever, he was executed. He had his head chopped off. And he walked from St. James Palace through St. James Park to the gallows. All right? Now, there's a pathway, a walkway there now called wait for it, you won't believe it, called Bird Cage Walk. Well, when you understand symbolism and you know what the bird cage represents, you might have seen an image of Audrey Hepburn at a Hollywood party with wearing a bird cage over her head. All right? Now, what that represents is MK Ultra mind control. Thank you to the parasites / demons, right? Now, what that means is this is how insidious and how evil these people are. You do not need a handler external of the traumatized child. You put the handler inside its mind. So there's two personalities, a dominant one and a non-dominant one, all right? And the two personalities chase each other around the mind all the time. all right? So they instill an inbuilt handler. Do you understand how fucking insidious that is? And didn't Robin Williams star in a movie called The Birdcage? All right? So, yeah, don't go reporting anyone. Just hit love. Just keep hitting love, okay? And don't feed the fucking trolls. Part of that, don't you understand? All right, so that's probably enough. It's 11:45, so my girlfriend will probably be here soon. Oh, one thing to know, which my girlfriend Buffy told me. In Africa, you may have noticed that children's teeth are quite white. African people's teeth are quite white. Well, the reason that is because they're given the licorice plant to chew on, and the licorice plant does not leave you with a black tongue or black teeth, because that's the molasses that's added in later when they actually make licorice from it. But what they do is they chew on the licorice plant, and it's got a lovely taste of licorice, and the African children chew it and they love it. All right. So that was something I learnt yesterday. All right. So now apparently you can buy a licorice plant, you know, like you can buy fucking tea leaves, right? So, yeah. What else have I been up to? Oh, yeah, remember the Perfumo affair? Well, that's all, you know, correlates back to St. James Palace, right? So Christine Keller, Mandy Rice Davis, and the Perfumo affair, which all took place at Murray's Gentlemen's Club, which, you know, can kick a fucking football to St. James Palace. Now, also, just so you know, Department of Defence is located at St. James Palace. So, Murray's Gentlemen's Club. Now, this all took place in the 60s, this Perfumo affair. And you'll never guess what. The Gentlemen's Club opened in, yes, 1933. Can't make this shit up, right? Now, the internet tells me it's now a pizza shop. There is a gentleman who is related to Michael Douglas. He's knighted as Sir and his surname is Dill. I'm going to give you more information shortly on my Facebook posts. This is a gentleman who used to own, I don't know if he still does, 3/4 of Bermuda. You know where the Bermuda Triangle is? Well, there is a big resort called Ariel Sands Resort. That is now owned by a family member of his called Michael Douglas. I'm tipping he don't own it anymore. And we all know Michael Douglas's father kicked the bucket recently, okay? Now, this information is thank you to my dear friend Buffy Buchanan. And anyway, that's, we're digging on that, all right? We're going hard on that one, but you can't do everything at once. And, of course, you know, the hot war's as hot as fuck, so, you know, but anyway, so that's the kind of shit that's in my head and the kind of research I'm doing. I'm swapping intel points with people, and especially Victor Bug. He's flicking me his points of data, and I'm flicking mine. We've got two minds going at it. And then I've got girlfriends who grew up in the UK, girlfriends who grew up in the UK and Ireland. I've got a lot of friends who've travelled the world. They all have their own personal experiences, etc. They've all seen and witnessed things that I haven't, and vice versa, all right? So we're all working together, and we're all trying to connect the dots Now, St. James, of course, you have St. James School in Philadelphia. You've got a St. James railway station here in Sydney. St. James is fucking everywhere, okay? So get on it. Get on it, get on it, get on it. They also held, so at St. James Palace, they do things like christenings there. Of course they bloody do, right? Changing of the guard apparently takes place there. Well, remember what Q said? You are witnessing the fall of the old guard. I don't think they'll be doing the changing of the guard there for too much fucking longer, do you? Hip hip hooray. They also had the year Judi Dench. I didn't look up what year it fucking was, but it's not that long ago. She won an Oscar, and they held an Oscars Awards evening, you know, like a... You know, you're also fucking wonderful kind of dinner event, you know, all took photographs together, etc., and stroked themselves enormously. Well, you know, she was fluffing around and the interviewer was saying whatever, and near the end she said, which summed it all up, told you everything you need to know when you have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. Oh yes, it was all very wonderful. It was the coming together of the two entities. Got it? Good. So, St. James Park, there's also a soccer stadium there. All right? And it was the birth of the West End. All right? So, you may have seen them pulling down these makeshift hospitals they built. You must understand the world is a stage. They'll put up the stage, you know, what do people do in that industry when they build the sets, right? They build the sets on the stage for the different scenes. Scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, right? You're watching a movie. So there was a time when the stage scene needed to be set as hospitals for all these supposed people ill with a flu that's going to affect their lung capacity. Okay, which of course, a lot of that was all manipulated numbers, all right, to cause what? Fear. So you're all in fear you're going to die from a flu where nobody really dies from, okay? You die in a car accident, they'll call it COVID. Hello, darling. How are you? You want to come and say hello to the people? Look at you.
I'm a real fireman.
Are you a fireman today? You're a real fireman, yeah?
She's a real fireman, Sam.
Fireman Sam.
This is a real fire truck that we know.
And a real fire truck. All right, fantastic. All right, guys and girls, so I'm out of here. You have a great day. Stay fabulous, all right? No fear, okay? None. Zip. Zero. And I do mean none. Make General Flynn proud. Make President Trump proud. Make the Q team proud. All right? And anyone who thinks you're an idiot who's lost their shit is about to think you're a prophet. All right? So go hard, sharing the truth. Back yourself in. We've got this one. All right? Love you all. Bye for now.